We're in year 2026, so let's look at some of the things that we've said that would happen, and let's predict some bold stuff for the NBA in 2026. So first up, what are some storylines we're following? First up, Lorenzo, what you got?
I'm looking at the Oklahoma City Thunder, the defending champs. They started the season something like 23-1, 24-1. We were talking about maybe them having the greatest season ever if they would have won the NBA Cup, and then if they would have pushed for that single season record and then maybe getting a second NBA Finals. And then now they've lost, I think it's like 5 of 12 games. They've hit a sort of wall, and it's interesting because you look at those 3 games against the Spurs, and the Spurs are probably a little bit ahead of schedule, but they pretty much handled Oklahoma City game in and game out. They had an answer for everything they did. And I think there's some rumbling around the league whether Oklahoma City might have been exposed a little bit. And what I'm going to be looking for this second half is whether, one, it's a fluke, or if it's just, a little rut. It's winning is hard. Winning consistently is even harder. And I think this could be a thing where maybe the team has a sort of like regathering, refocusing, and they get back to what they do. Or it could be something where we thought this team was kind of invincible, but actually they have some flaws that they can attack. I mean, you look at that game that they just lost against the Suns. The Suns, I don't know that people would put them as a title contender necessarily. They have had a lot of improvements, but it's clear that to attack Oklahoma City, you need size, length, and athleticism along the wing to be able to defend those guys. And if a team like the Suns can do it, if a team like the Spurs can do it, the Rockets can probably do it if they get it together. We might be looking at this Oklahoma City Thunder team that we were talking about maybe being a dynasty, and then maybe just not being that at all.
Hey, y'all, the Philadelphia 76ers are healthy right now, and they look good. And so I'm just following that team. I'm looking at Joel Embiid. He's averaging about 29 points over his last 7 games. The guy's looking like his old MVP self again. They got Paul George out there contributing. They just beat the Knicks where Embiid scored 26, Tyrese Maxey 36, VJ Edgecombe 26. Like, this is starting to look like a thing that this team could potentially give these teams in the Eastern Conference some real trouble in the playoffs. So I'm following the 76ers to see how far they can go. I'm starting to believe that this is a real contender that other teams have to worry about in the Eastern Conference.
I'm going to stay in the East, and I'm going to talk about the Boston Celtics, who, when the offseason happened and you had Tatum on the injury list and all these names were being moved, it looked like they may take a year to just collect the draft pick and then come back in 2026, 27 with a healthy Tatum and didn't make that run. These guys are number 3 in the East. And I question how good this team would be without Tatum. Jaylen Brown is showing that he earned those MVPs, whether it was the conference finals or the finals. He dropped 50. He's out here salsa dancing before the game, getting loose, and then showing that it's working on court. This team, while is a new look Celtics, is still the same in like intensity with the Celtics. You got guys coming off the bench who know their role. They got guys who they could trade and actually add more pieces to this team just from all the trades they did and the additions that probably haven't helped out this year. So if you're the Celtics, you could be the 2 seed by the end of this week, depending on how games play out. So imagine this team possibly getting Jason Tatum back, whether he's 50%, 85% back. But what if they go on a run without him? Like, this team, as, different as they look from that finals team, is still competing in the East. It could only get better from here on out.
Jaylen Brown was right. He should have won Player of the Month. I know he called out Jalen Brunson and whoever won in the West. I think it was Shea. Jaylen Brown should have won for the Eastern Conference.
All right, so we talked about storylines we're following. Let's give out some bold predictions for 2026. Prince, let's start with you. What is your boldest prediction for 2026?
Hey, man, I think LeBron's going to request a trade. I don't know if he's going to do it, but I could see it happening, man. The vibes just seem off in LA, right? Like, one second they're winning a bunch of games on the road, the next second JJ Redick is losing it, calling players out. You don't really know if this team is an actual contender, despite the fact that they're 3rd in the West as we're recording. Something just doesn't seem off, and LeBron doesn't have time to waste, really. Like, LeBron is a guy who knows how much time he has left. If this isn't his last season, maybe next year is. The injuries are starting to pile up. He always has something small at his age, though, those things add up, and you just wonder at what point does he decide, hey, I can't win a title here. I need to go somewhere where I can chase a championship. I can't work beside Luka as our best player. Does he even believe Luka's the best player? Like, there's just a lot of questions you have with the Lakers right now, and I could see LeBron asking out of that situation. If not Bron, I think we are going to see someone big get moved at this deadline, whether it's Giannis or some other names, Trae Young, John Morant. We're going to see someone big moved at the deadline. What if it's LeBron James?
Yeah, to that point, I just want to throw something out there quickly. So the Lakers are the third seed as we're recording this. Against teams that are 500 and above, they're just 7-8. Against teams that are 500 and below, they're 15-3. So I think that's right, Prince. I mean, like, they've been playing well, but we don't know how good they are. Really, they need to show it against good teams, and so it's going to be interesting to watch how that plays out. For my bold take, I've got one that I think the NBA league office might be pretty happy about. I think this is a year that an American-born player wins MVP once again. The last time we saw it was in 2018 when James Harden did it. But this year, I think with the injuries that Wemby's had, with the injuries that Giannis has had, with the injuries that Jokic has had, that 65-game minimum requirement, I think we'll see a lot of those stars to basically become ineligible. So I think that opens up the door for guys like Jaylen Brown that Evan was just talking about. He's been playing out of his mind. He's been doing it on defense too, which I think doesn't get a lot of love necessarily day to day in the media or on TV when you're watching these games, but I think voters do pay attention to that to some degree. And Anthony Edwards is another one who might, if the Timberwolves take a step up, he might get in that conversation. The big question here would be Shea. I mean, he's a guy who's obviously he's going to get his numbers. The Oklahoma City Thunder are the defending champs, and they've hit a little bit of a rut here, but you figure that they will make a run. They will be in that top 5 in the Western Conference, if not the top 3. So Shea is going to be the biggest thing there. But I think if the Celtics continue to climb, if they are the 2 seed, if they're the 3 seed even, but look dominant, and Jaylen Brown is that guy, I can see him winning MVP.
What a bizarre world that would be if Jaylen Brown Jason Tatum came back to a team with Jaylen Brown as a league MVP, finals MVP, conference finals MVP. That would be crazy. I'm sorry, Evan, go ahead.
No, you good. He would just have to request a trade to Atlanta at that point. But for me, I think this could be the last year we see the All-Star game. I think that, every year or every 2 years they try to reinvent it. And at the end of the day, players just don't want to play. Now you're trying to make this world versus U.S. Competition similar to hockey. And if the players don't play in this one, what can you do if you're Adam Silver? It's pay the guys, but I don't think you want to. So I can see them saying, you know what, we're going to take a 2-year break from the All-Star game. We're going to have All-Star weekend, but just no player game. And let's see how it goes. Or maybe we just see that for 2 years, we still don't get any type of reaction from guys. Then we'll fork over $1 million per winner, $500,000 for playing. But I can see if this year's All-Star game does not have the competition, if it does not have the interest, they may need to say, we need 2 years to figure this out, because just throwing these guys out for 3 days to just be seen, practice, do events. I mean, the best thing about the All-Star was the dunk contest. It's taking a G League player to make that exciting. 3-point competition is fun, but there's nothing with the All-Star weekend that is worth watching. And the All-Star game, which growing up was the best thing to watch, you can just skip it because players are just going to play either the first quarter and that's it. But if they don't have any success with this world versus U.S., I think they should scrap it, which Adam Silver possibly may do, because I don't know if he wants to pay players just to play in an All-Star game.
This is the thing I don't understand, though, man, because I think it's such an obvious solution. And I get that they don't maybe love the idea of the optics of these guys only want to pay, or they don't only want to play if they're getting paid. But this is the world we live in. This is what motivates people. It's just, I guarantee you, if you forget 1 million, give them 2 million per winner. For on the winning team, give them $2 million. I guarantee you will see these guys going out and actually playing the game. And I think that's what we want to see. I mean, I think we're all around the same age. I think when we look at the All-Star games that are memorable, I remember the ones where Kobe Bryant was full court pressure on guys because he just had that that competitive mentality. I don't know that that exists anymore because guys are friends with each other in the league and all that. Then you have to bypass that, pay them players, and I guarantee you'll see that. And it's the same with the dunk contest. We want to see the John Morants. We want to see Giannis has talked about being interested. Like, yeah, I would love to see that, but you got to pay these guys.
I mean, if you pay them, like, who's to say Jokic is going to play serious in an All Star game? Like, it sounds good until you have players on the court, and if 70% of them are playing hard, and you got 30% out there just going through the motions, like that's how injuries happen. So I don't know if it's just more of a buy-in from players, but money may motivate some guys to play, but by quarter two, some of these guys have already packed it in and they want to go on their vacation by halftime.
I was gonna say this might be the worst year for that format with all the injuries we're seeing. I mean, you guys already mentioned it. Jokic has been hurt. Will he want to play? Giannis has been hurt. Will he want to play? Wemby has been hurt. Will he want to play? Shea just went on a deep run to the finals. How hard is he actually going to want to go? That's your whole world team right there. And so LeBron is, he's at his advanced age. How hard is he going to go in an All-Star game? KD, same thing. So we could have an All-Star world versus, U.S. format where, half the guys that the fans want to see aren't even really playing,
All right, so we looked at storylines we're watching, bold takes. What's something we want to take back from 2025 that we put on wax that clearly didn't happen?
I'll start off here because I got to say, man, my picks are looking kind of nice. I had the Spurs making a jump. They look like they're there. I had the Pistons making a jump. They also look like they're there. So I'm feeling pretty good. But the one thing I'm kicking myself over is these Los Angeles Clippers. And I got fooled by that series they had against the Nuggets last season. That was a really compelling series. And I thought, like, man, if they just add a few pieces here and there, their window is closing, those old heads are going to be like, this is our time to win. And I thought they would be at least a team that could contend for a conference finals appearance. Now I'm looking at this, and they have been playing better. Kawhi's been going off. The vibes seem to be a little bit higher, but I just don't see how this works, given their age, given their construction, given whatever's happening with the off-court stuff. And, I mean, like, the question still remains with Kawhi is, will you have him available? Because he is still injury prone. And I watch those games and it becomes clear to me that if he's not there, this whole thing falls apart. So, yeah, I mean, they're playing better. The season's not over. They have plenty of chance to get into that play-in window, possibly even to the 6th seed, whatever. But I just don't see them being a contender like I thought they were.
I mean, unlike Lorenzo, I did not have the Spurs taking this big of a jump this season, so I guess I got to go with them. It's not that I didn't have them in the playoffs. I thought they'd probably be somewhere in the back half of the playoff picture. They're clearly one of the best teams in the Western Conference. They've beaten the Thunder several times and, have really asserted themselves as a championship contender this season. And it's just incredible to me. Like, it seems like teams, they take leaps. Like, things change so much faster now in the NBA than they used to, or at least it feels that way. Like, last year, the Rockets came from almost out of nowhere to be the 2 seed in the West. The year before that, it was the Thunder making their presence known as the 1 seed. And now the Spurs just jump up from no playoffs. They have the last 2 reigning rookie of the years on their team. And now they're a top 4 seed in the Western Conference. And so I got to tip my hat to San Antonio. Wemby's obviously out of this world, but Stephon Castle, that dude is a dog. These young boys are just ready a lot sooner than I thought they'd be. I really like Dylan Harper. De'Aaron Fox fits this team a lot better than I thought he would. Shout out to Spurs.
Yeah, mine's is kind of hitting back what we talked about earlier as the Boston Celtics. I wrote you off. I'm a Sixers fan. I'm a hater. I just knew I was raining. I was dancing on y'all parade of losing. And y'all come out here and show me that, it took some time to get everything adjusted. You lose KP, you lose Drew, but these dudes are a well-oiled machine without Tatum. Like, as of right now, they're 3 seed looking to get the 2. And this team could be a team that could knock out the Sixers in the playoffs. So, I'm sorry, Joe. I doubted you and your coaching. Thought you was just a product of Brad's and, all his old pieces. But clearly, this Celtics team, for right now, this isn't even like the final team. They're this good. They get Tatum back. They figure out what to do with some cap stuff. because they probably going to make a couple moves. Don't be surprised if Boston is back either this year or early next year as that team in the East again.